Hey guys, it's Tartan coming at you with another game of hardcore Diablo 2. And this may be the last video Medea ever stars in. Our Sorceress is level 77. She is tough. She is relatively prepared. But nothing can really prepare you for the ravages of the Worldstone Keep. 2, 3, and 4. Alright, we're just gonna be moving through it carefully, gracefully. Like, are we gonna get spiked when we walked in? It's an extra fast pack. Not having a lot of room to move, not ideal. There we go. These dudes are already a little quick. Alright. Moving on. There's a couple of the packs at least. And none of them ones that we just, like, don't want to see. There's a Might Enchanted one there. We're just going to give them their RESPECT. We're going to hang back pretty heavily, because I don't... Look, we might have to res the Merc several times here. We only have so many HP, right? Or HP. So many gold. And the scimitar won't help. It's going to be slow going here. There's still another Might Enchanted somewhere else. There. Got it. You know, those are pretty funny packs. Given that they'll just, like, blow up with very little input. You won't get a drop from the leader unless you blow them up yourself if they just do their silly little run-in explosion. Okay, there's a conviction around the wall there. We're just gonna go anywhere that isn't there. It's pretty crazy that it'll let me see it, but good stuff there. And it's funny that these are the guys that we're happy to see, because at least we don't have the old Moonlords here. Because we just need to dodge Moonlords. Like, we might... We might not actually get to the throne room today, depending on what the mob roll is in 3, because I don't... Oh, Scarabs. That's excellent, as our guy is highly tanky to such things. And, of course, the real danger is in being close to them. Alright, so all in all, a very solid little mob roll for this floor. You know, a lot of stuff you can slow. And the exploding dudes are basically like nothing. I mean, you can't let them hit you. Sure, you can't let them hit you, but they hardly take a lot of cleaning up. And they can even have, like, you know, so any pack they have will take the place of another pack, so rather than being dangerous, you just get a, you know, have a nice little chill time, dropping your meteors on them from afar, if applicable. Because there's Moonlords and Souls on the table, and, like, Dark Rangers, I think. Maybe Dark Lancers. Basically the same. Except one's probably immune to a different thing. Anyway, basically not the same at all. One of them would be immune to lightning, the other would be immune to cold. Don't recall which. Because, of course, Scarabs with Conviction around are the nightmare. I mean, Souls are worse, but course, there isn't conviction around here. We just know that it's to the south, and we're going to hope that this is the bridge that goes down, and it is. Perfect. All right. All right, 2 more doors. Every door is very tense because you don't know what you're going to walk into. I always recommend pre-potioning. Alright. A good wide open door. We need to check the mob roll before we move too forward. Alright, fire boars and the overseer guys. I think they share the same table. Oh, and the temptresses are fizz immune, which will, you know. Oh, and Stormcasters. That is so good. This is a really, really low danger mob roll, in my estimations. We really got a great draw here on 3. We just gotta hope that 4 is doable then, because with this mob roll on 3, yeah, we should quite comfortably be able to, you know, just push through, clear the fools, get it done. His Stormcasters are not dangerous. There might be some contexts in which they're very annoying, but they're not dangerous. Alright. Fire immunes. Bum ba dum bum. We give him the rejuve there just because it felt like it was important. It's like, if you want to stay on a wall, I can do this all day. Oh no, she doesn't want to stay on a wall. And I can't do this all day, I'm gonna run out of mana. I was just lying. Alright. Time to get our dude back. It's not just like an awful place for that to be happening in terms of it's the first time so far. But we can only resurrect him like 9 more times. And yeah, if we run out of money, I mean, we could start selling stuff in the stash or whatever. But it could just constitute, not a game over, but a game significant pause. And then we'll just have to like go and farm up like 1,000,000 gold. However much we think we'll need. I really would not like to do that. I mean, it would be funny. It's mainly because I wouldn't have time today to do it, and then I would have to leave the world, and then we would have to clear all the way again. So we're just going to try to stay alive. there's the stairs, so we're on a very good pace, which is good because the throne room can take like a whole lot of doing depending on what's going on. All right. Okay, so you have to be prepared when you go through the door to get jumped by anything in the world. Alright, dolls. This is bad, but not a disaster. Assailants, again, bad, but not a disaster. We just gotta stay alive here. Alright, now we're in. Whew! Alright, so dolls and assailants. Assailants pretty tough, you know. Dolls, famous for being dolls. Now we're gonna need to clear basically all of it. What's our third mob? Just please let us dodge Moonlords. I'll take Unravelers. I'll take Souls. Hey. Silly little firecasters. Now, the reason for clearing these rooms, you don't have to do it to proceed to Baal, but we may need to go into them evasively at great speed in order to stay alive, and so clearing them is good. We're gonna clear both sides, probably. Plenty of space, because the dolls are kind of hard to see as they move about the country, right? So you just want to make sure that... Hey, we leveled up again. That's good news. We will go to town to distribute it. You never, ever level up in the Worldstone Keep. Three magic find with 5 to 14 cold damage. You know, technically an item. Meteor gets to about 4K. All right. But dodging the Moonlords, that's the most important thing. They're so freaking dangerous. If there's a good way to deal with them, I don't know what it is. But by clearing up this wall, you know, we're going to get ourselves into a nice spot where... Yeah. We're not going to bother going down all the way there, because that won't be important, but... Yeah, and we probably won't even care about doing the other side. I can't foresee a situation where we would need to, but... We might do it just because the mobs aren't that high danger. But we do need to clear back through here. Just make sure that, you know, we don't have to go all the way in. But we want to make sure that if we end up, like, in this little zone here, that anybody who aggroes to us is already taken care of. Little insurance, as the French don't say. And we did not clear this wing at all, so we just need to peek out our little heads a little bit. The throne room proper could be really gnarly because we've gotten basically no unique packs in this whole joint, just the very first one. A very strange Worldstone. But I'll take it, right? You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we wouldn't have reset if the mob roll was super sketchy or died. Alright, so... there we go. Grab them, pull them, bop them, squeeze them. Smash them, Meteor them. That's not Latin. It's not even pretending to be. There we go. Yeah, a very light mob density in this room. Yeah, very light mob density. Pretty interesting, honestly. Maybe the easiest Worldstone for... No, I mean, dolls aren't gimmies. Pretty easy for this character, though. Alright. Time for the dudes. These will be fallen first, so fire immune. Wahaha! And you know, no sportsmanship, all space creating. It's like, wait, that guy resurrects them. So does the next set. We're gonna need to be around for some of it. Oh, he's cold hit plus decrypified. I'm like, man, my merc doesn't want to work anymore. He says he's over it. Oh, goodness. I forgot about that. Alright, so that is... These guys resurrect undead, so all the undead in the room... Oh, man. This is going to be a bad time. But if we pull them far enough away, then, you know, they won't see them to res them. And we'll also have, you know, the space between the mob density and the center... Need space. I would be more aggressive if I had more money, but we, you know, we have to think about being able to resurrect Kasim, who will be very important for some of the battles to come. All right, now we get enough to get onto this Unraveler, who is like magic immune and highly fire resistant. But there's one. Man, this pack is gonna take some work. Alright, we're just gonna go to town real quick, clear these poisons and curses. You know, we're getting some damage on them. I don't know if they have, like, monster heal. I don't think they do. Some mob types do, but I don't think they do. I've been wrong before, though. Alright, there we go. And then we get on top of them. We can sink the damage in. It was just a matter of creating the space, right? Man, to cripify is rough. Hey, Arcade, how's it going? Good morning. Yes, you came at the right time. For the fight continues. Alright, it's gonna be these guys. These guys are a massive headache, the council is. We're just gonna want space at the start. Where are they at? Is there someone in this pack alive? Come on, Baal, don't do me like that. Oh, there he is. Hiding in the corner. Alright, we just need to make sure our town portals are in good amounts and get that poison cleared off of him. They'll be very fast, they'll be hydras, we just need to bounce out basically as soon as they get a frame or two. There we go. And try to pull a couple here. Worried about Kasim taking over damage from those hydras, but now they're down and we'll be able to pull like one off like so. Yep, there we go. Perfection. Well, I mean, we still got the rest of the pack to deal with, but it's the proof of concept that's important. Alright, that was too many hydras, but we get Kasim healed back up. Kasim does not have max fire resist, so... Hey, nice. You got the Warlock mod. That's awesome. Dude. Wait, what kind of Warlock are you playing? I think they're all so good. Alright, so their main dude's in that corner, which is great. Good place for him. From like an Necro. Nice, nice. You know, the summon and bind demon... Yeah. Go in the other one that spits fire. Yeah, nice. And then when you get to bind demon at level 30, mwah, it's the coolest. But Yeah, get the sigil of, I think it's called lethargy. It's like a little circle on the ground. It's basically like decrypified, only it doesn't work with stacked with curses. It's so good. There's a bunch of one-hit wonders. For stats, the important thing is that, well, you know, if you're a summoner, you know, just go wild, do whatever you want. Unless you're playing hardcore where you have to care about, you know, like block and stuff. But they can use two-handed weapons in one hand and still use a shield with no penalty. So, you know, if you wanted to go for specific big items to use in conjunction with summons, but the summons do get a lot of benefit from spending a bunch of points. Playing offline, nice, nice. Sometimes I wish I did. I'm like, man, I wish I could just hit escape and pause the game. Bartok the Magnificent. Pop him in short order. Alright, now it's the very danger one. Because, well, they'll be very fast. We need to go far and hope that only a couple range out a little bit. You don't want to mess with these guys. There we go. Because they can be slowed, but like only a little bit, right? Like barely at all. Their very fast nature works for them, but we, you know, you can't engage on the whole block. You'll just get toasted. But this is why we cleared out this whole side, right? Because we knew that this pack, and possibly Listers, depending on the speed of it, will need to be dealt with and defeated in detail like this. It doesn't pause even there. That's crazy. I think they're cursed too, I saw. So, like, this is an incredibly rough pack, right? Yeah. But I think his last one is Spectral Hit, which relatively undangerous compared to what else you could get. No, it's multi-shot. Incredibly dangerous. But we got him there. He probably still has like 8 dudes in here. He gets a massive crew. Like, they all come out swinging. They're like, oh, flamethrower time? Sick, I brought one. But Kasim, with his life leech from the armor that we found, doing great. They have real high fire resist, so even though they're not fire immune, it's probably like 85 or 90. I don't want to give you a hard number. You could look it up. I could look it up. I won't. But, you know, cold mastery reducing resist. Wow, so many of them left. I was like, I feel like we have not even scratched the surface of his crew. You lost all your shared staff sheet for your dual characters. Oh, man. That is too bad. Because they might have been on, like, a non-ladder thing. Yeah, whatever thing goes on. Yeah. That is too bad. Alright, time for Lister and those minions of destruction. Of course, these are massive headaches for different reasons. Given that they are fire immune and have 1,000,000 hit points. We're just hoping that Lister won't be cold immune too. I mean, we'll deal if he is. We've got him split already, so we're just going to keep him there. You don't want to let him hit you or your dude. Looks like a lightning enchant out of the big guy. Didn't see the aura yet. And we're just pulling back rather than tellying just to keep the orbs regular. Making sure to look at the animations of Kasim. If he looks like he's about to actually hit him, we're going to need to pull back. And we're just going to drag him around this entire way here. Because they have, like, so many hit points, and Orb does not do that good of damage. But you can chip them down. And if you get, like, a 1v1, you can let your Merc fight him. Lister is stone skin. That's why it's even more than normal. Alright, yeah. Lister is Fizz immune here. Spectral hit, Stone Skin, Fire Enchanted. Basically, I mean, Stone Skin's annoying. Fire Enchanted is meaningless. And Spectral hit, you know, only counts if he hits you. We'll probably pop Lister before the rest of them. Just because he was in the block the longest. Yeah, the knockback stun nonsense, you know, they get it done, but we just want to stay out of the throne room too. You get too close to the throne, you know, you get Baal throwing decrypt on you, and then this works much less well. But yeah, so, you know, we see that Kasim can totally stand up with one. I'm like, let's go further down here. I'm like, I bet we left a straggler. We did. There we go. Just got to find the sweet spot, and they don't take too long. If you can stabilize them, you know, which... that's a special situation as well, because even if there are two of them, I think his HP will start dropping a bit. But, hey, you know, we made it through the whole floor without Kasim going down, I think. Alright. Well, how exhilarating, right? Now there's just the final boss. Well, and a couple more of these minions. If Lister gets cold enchanted, then I think he gets cold immune too, and that would have been, you know, bad, because we would have had to rely on Kasim for an extended period of time to do it. All right. Oh. Okay. Play with a GameCube controller? Oh, because they have, like, for the historical ones. I'm like, what do you mean? Now I get it. I have a Switch, but not a Switch 2. I got it ages ago. I won this competitive Warhammer League thing at the shop and got a bunch of store credit, and I spent it on a Switch. Alright, so we were just trying to get him right here. Whoops. We've got him in a bad spot for that knockback. That's all right though. I'm like, don't worry, Kasim. I will give you potions. We're out of potions. Don't worry, Kasim. I will buy more potions. Kasim, no! Alright. Well, it's almost over. Well, assuming we win, it's almost over. If we die, it's almost over, too. But of course, moo. Yes, the celebratory moo. I'm looking at my clock, and this run went very well indeed. All right. You can't hide from me, Baal. You might hide from me and run away from me and hide from me, but you can't hide from me, Baal. Not even death can save you from me. I'm just like hitting aggressive potions because panic mode is fine at this point in the game. Tal mask? Huzzah! So this is super nice to be able to give to a merc. You lose, you know, whatever you had, but 10 lifelink is pretty good. And of course, if you want to go for Tal, I mean, we've got a Tal belt. We could potentially get a little bit for it, but... And then we need to go get the other stuff for the thing. I did it! I did it! It's now just sinking in. I did it! Hooray! Hey guys, good job me, right? I did it. The Hell Slayer. Now, would we ever use this? No, definitely not. It's kind of cool, right? Because it does a fireball, but it doesn't matter. It's one of those that sounds slightly better on paper than it is. Hawkmail is... I mean, it would give Cannot Be Frozen to the Merc. It gives maximum cold resist, which would be good if it was maximum lightning resist, but it isn't. Yeah, we could just, like, make a barbarian and put it on him someday. After all, at level 66, 189 strength is totally doable. Yeah, Cannot Be Frozen, super good. I guess, no, we could just hold on to it. Yeah, because, I mean, we don't need to wear that permanently. You can wear that at level 15. Hey, now I'm reading it. You could wear that at level 15. Now we're talking, right? That's a great, you know, you could wear that for Cannot Be Frozen if you think it matters. I mean, you'd probably just take stealth for the run walk, but... Alright, we need to create space. By getting rid of the 6 life Grand Charm. And this +1 Sorceress amulet that we'll sell, because, you know, you can make money on it. I'm like, is there any way to reorganize this? No. I'm the worst. It's alright. We'll just put that in there. So Somebody's got to sell stuff. Yeah, for sure. It's like a lot of the junk in the stash is like for theoretical new characters I could make. So, you know, we could just like make the hardcore barb and put some of the stuff on them. But then, you know, if they die at level 8, then you lose all of it. I earned it. There we go. Look, honestly, I feel like so proud of myself. Look, I still won't say it's hard to beat Diablo 2 on hardcore with a Sorceress or a Necromancer. It's because I can do it. You know, they aren't automatic, even with a bunch of summons or with teleport. It's not automatic. So you're probably, well, thank you. Glad you could be here for it. You know, because, and two, with like Meteorb, playing on Hell by yourself is such like a test of knowledge of the game, right? You know, how are you going to solve the problems that the game is going to give you? How are you going to identify the stuff that you need to get out of? You know, what's dangerous? Can you tell in 5 frames what's dangerous? Because with the Sorceress, you can get away from anything, but you have to start running. Because, like, you know, if you just try to fight in that room and you don't clear the wings first, you know, or you just go up one side. Yeah, most of this from minions coming at you. Oh, absolutely. Because, you know, Baal is dangerous, but Baal is always the same, right? But the minion waves, depending on what the guy up top gets, if you get a conviction aura on the 3rd minion wave when they're throwing those hydras down, suddenly you find that it does a lot of damage. If you get, you know, fanaticism on the Lister wave and extra fast, you just turn off the game. Guardian! Let's do cows. Actually, hell cows are terrible on Sorceress. Let's do it anyway. Oh yeah, corrupted trimmers can exist now. Like, doing this, I'm like, oh, remember when we were strong? Like, Acts 4 and 5 Hell are really humbling to the beautiful Meteorbs of the world. Because, like, you don't... It still works in Act 1. Like, it just straight does the work. But, of course, we have very little plus to skills. Oh, we were like wearing the Lightning Grand, which takes us like over cap because I was afraid of conviction. I remember now. Like so many of our charms are just hot garbage, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Huh, no, not that. Moo. 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 And then you do this, and this is how to Meteorb cows, right? You pull them, and then you start dropping them in a circle where the meteors are. And you can pull any amount of cows here. The circular motion also keeps your merc from engaging too heavily most of the time, but he'll still get stuck on if you're doing the loop too close to the bodies. A paladin with holy fire. That's fun. You know, there's a lot of builds that are good at it. Necros are really good, of course, but my girl, the Javazon, that's like for if you want to melt cows. That no, thank you. Conviction Aura while we're dragging a lightning enchanted? Nah, I'm good. You can kill the king now. I did it by accident, actually, and I was super upset, and then I was like, wait, ooh, shiny. Now, I wish it was mesh, but Tooth Row is, like, not good. It's fine. It's not good. By level 48, you know, you gotta have better than that. This armor, you know, giving us the life leech makes it much better than this, even though on paper these stats might be more desirable. But having 5% life leech is just really what matters. Yeah, I don't know when. I didn't look it up. But yeah, I've killed the king, 10, 15 times. It's just so nice, too, now. Because now you don't have to even, like, worry about being around, you know? It's just like, oh, make sure he doesn't get you, you know? I mean, who among us does not remember the misery of being in a cow game and someone, you know, accidentally or on purpose killing your king? And now you're like, oh, now I can't do it anymore? This is the worst. Moo, they would say. Because, like, why don't they declare me their king? So, like, a democratic system where they take turns wearing the crown? Champs. That one in the front's probably a fanatic or a possessed one because he was quicker. No, the craziest ability on Warlock, though, has got to be, like, point at this thing and send your summon over there. Oh, man, it's so good. It takes the normal headaches of a summon class and just completely removes them. Knock, knock. Yeah, I haven't had a drop of the horns yet. We've got the old Cow King's leathers a few times. Of course, we just tossed them. It's an item in WoW as well, not a very good one. I'm like, wait, are they gonna let me cast fireballs through this wall at them? Amazing. Yeah, Meteor, you know how on a controller sometimes it won't let you cast it at your feet or whatever? It was doing that. This ring could be anything, man. Can I just get a dwarf? A dwarf star and a Ravenfrost? No. At this point, you know, I just want a Ravenfrost for some other character. Lightning enchant, extra fast, blah, blah, blah. Oh, stone skin. Wow, it's going to take some doing. We got a ways to pull them. With Meteorb, it's just about being able to create space. And if you have created space, if you die, it's your fault. Because there's nothing in the entire game that should be able to kill you if you've got this much room to run, right? You have teleport. You're a person. You theoretically have a human brain. These are all cheats compared to what the cows have. Which is just like, you know, the right to rule, the mandate of heaven, the classiest Bardiche, and indeed, the affection and esteem of all of your peers. But none of those will get you very far. Ah, Siggy's. Dropped a lot of stamina potions. It's milk, you know. He drops the milk. He was holding on to some milk. Blaze, you know, that's what I should have done, yeah. Siggy Sabot, which was the first one we found of him. And Garbo gloves. And a not good ring. And I forgot and went out the regular portal. I noticed that things were different and immediately teleported. This is important human behavior. If you don't do that, you deserve whatever happens to you. Man, if I would have died on the cow level because I took the wrong warp, that would have been very funny. Still would have counted as a win, though. It's not a hardcore loss if your character eventually dies. You know, you just got to get the big guy. Not trying to get to level 99. I've never been level 99, and I hope to never be level 99. I like making new characters too much. But it's likely that after this, we'll be taking a bit of a break from Diablo 2. Although we could, you know, start up like a hardcore warlock. That could be a lot of fun, and I'm confident in my ability to translate it to a win. But I just bought a bunch of new games. So, you know, gonna spin up Final Fantasy Tactics one of these days soon, which I, of course, am extensively experienced in, but haven't played on stream ever before. It'll actually be, like, the first of, like, what I call, like, my childhood RPGs, right, that I will be streaming, so that'll be interesting. It's always hard to find something to say about something that you, like, know like an old friend. You know, but hey, I found a way to talk through Diablo. I'll find a way to talk through that as well. We got a conviction here, but no spice behind it. Spectral hit, stone skin. Triangle strategy, no. It is on the list, but I did not look it up. Because I bought, I bought a bunch. I started buying games, and then I didn't get that one because I didn't look it up. Because I was like, oh, Steam sale. I'm like, oh, Final Fantasy Tactics, got to get that. And then I was like, oh, this and this. Oh, Katamari. We're not talking about how mad Katamari Damacy made me last night. But anyway, I feel like writing a letter to the developer, though. Well, the publisher. I don't think the developer is responsible for such stupidity. They shouldn't have let the game go live. No, it's simple enough. The game won't let you change your graphic settings until you complete the tutorial, or indeed access the options at all. So, yeah. Which is just incredibly annoying. Oh yeah, I did not mention, it launches in 720p windowed. I'm a gentleman. I don't play games in 720p windowed. The tutorial's not long, but like, because last night, like, I had got it the other day, and I downloaded it, and I wanted to stream it, you know, so I was like, alright, we'll load it up, and then we'll start it up, you know, play through the tutorial, play it. That's what I was going to do last night. And then, instead, I get incredibly frustrated trying to find out how to change the settings for a while. But it's the remaster of Katamari Damacy Reroll. CRT hookup. I need to do that for my N64 game, so y'all can see how bad I am at GoldenEye. Yeah, I'm a massive fan myself. You know, I played the pants off of it whenever it was out, and then some years ago, a gentleman by the name of Carl Jobst, I don't know him personally, he's got like a YouTube channel and stuff, but he set this amazing world record on the first stage dam of 52 seconds. You may already be familiar. It was a pretty good deal, but it got like in the newspapers, right, or at least some on the internet, and got picked up around, and then I read it, and I was like, huh. And then I went to the shop and picked up a 64 and said, maybe I can do good. And like, man, not not that good. I have damn 58. But the 64 is the only retro console I have now, because, you know, I lost the ones I had over the years in various careless ways, or ones that weren't my responsibility, depending on which system. Moo! But I did buy 64, and I got, you know, like Mario and Mario Kart, and Ocarina of Time, and I got Donkey Kong, and Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, you know, what I would consider like the pure essentials. And it was basically almost all the games that my family had on 64, although we had, you know, a couple more. 1080 snowboarding, that kind of thing. The Dreamcast. The world was not ready enough for one as beautiful as you. Man. They really broke my heart with that one. Saved up for years. Because it came out, what, $99.99? I would have been 13 years old. So, like, I had been thinking about working on getting the Dreamcast and basically saving almost all of my money for it for, like, 2 years at that point, probably. And then, of course, Sega betrays me. I could have got a PlayStation 2. Turok, that was a good one. You know, I tried to play it on my computer a while ago, and I was just like, man, does this not hold up? But, man, Dreamcast, I loved it. Dude, Power Stone was so good, and Soul Calibur ran just like crazy smooth, my favorite racing game of all time, Crazy Taxi. You might say that's not a racing game. Well, it's got a car in it. No, Mario Kart 64 is probably my favorite racing game. But yeah, like, cause man, playing Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, it really felt like the modern era. Like the Edgemaster mode where you had all of like the individual missions, you know, like that was the sort of thing you dreamed of in the earlier era of fighting games, to have like a bunch of extra stuff to do too. And then it delivered on it with like this amazing varied cast of characters. I even used ones that weren't Mitsurugi sometimes. Crazy Taxi Birthday Homer's Hit and Run. You know, I need to play that someday. I've never played it. I know what it is. I have watched a 2-hour-long summoning salt video on the history of the world records in it. And while watching, I was like, seems like Crazy Taxi, but without the sick Offspring soundtrack. Yeah, 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 yeah. Lot of cows. But between like, oh, and you know, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, which ran dramatically better on the Dreamcast than on the alternatives. Oh, I didn't res my Merc. And there's that demo, I talk about this all the time, the Dreamcast demo that had Tony 2 on it, and it was that middle stage, the tournament stage in the middle of the game. I forget the name of it, you know, the indoor skate park one. And you know, you got like the full 2 minutes for a run, and it's just like maybe the greatest single demo of all time. I think personally it might be the greatest demo of all time. Maybe like the Diablo 1 demo. You had a Saturn. Nice. My best friend growing up through junior high and all in these years, he had a Saturn. So, you know, I got to play some really cool games that, you know, as a Saturn owner, you would know that a lot of people didn't have access to. Did I forget again? Yeah, I'm talking about the past and forgetting to resurrect Kasim. We're gonna go in this one. Maybe the Doom. Yeah, you know, that's a good call. Or like the Wolfenstein 3D one. You can get a lot of play out of the Wolfenstein. No, Age of Empires 2. I think Age of Empires 2 demo might have influenced my life more than any other demo, even the Tony 2 demo. Because I had already played Tony 1, but the Age of Empires 2 demo literally changed my life. I used to play online competitive. In the Age 2 one, though, like in the high resource map, there was nothing on the physical map for the demo, so you were just like in a blank space where you started with a ton of resources, and you know, you would team up and move to the corners and try to build up, you know, your stuff on the walls. It'd be like, you know, 5-minute no rush or whatever, and you'd have your trade routes to get gold, and then, you know, because the only way to get resources in a game where there aren't resources on the map is to, you know, make them somehow. You gotta spend your initial money wisely. Yeah, Generals. I didn't have Generals. One of my friends did, though, and we played it a lot at his house. Red Alert 1 was the one that I played the most. We played a lot of Red Alert 2 as well, but Red Alert 1, like, that was my jam. Generals was cool. I got this game in a Humble Bundle called Tempest Rising that is supposed to be very heavily inspired by their love for Command and Conquer. I have heard it described as a cheerful ripoff where the hand of Nod is instead 2 hands. But, you know, I haven't played it, so I'm not going to say that's true. But even if it is, I'm totally down. But the best part about Red Alert is that it got me thinking things that were obviously untrue. Like, there was at least 1 week of my life where I thought the Soviet Union had Tesla coils. I'm like, man, it's a good thing we won the Cold War. It would have been sure tough to get our light American tanks past those electrical towers. Sniper and dogs. Oh, yeah. That was a good one. Dogs could do so much work if you could get them, you know, just like away from fire support. One measly little, you know, troop carrier can take it out, but man, you get a couple of guys distracted. The worst is when you're trying to do Tanya shenanigans in Red Alert, and then, you know, there kept being dogs everywhere, and they make such a sad sound whenever you murk them, and you're like, oh, come on, Tanya, there's got to be a better way. I'm so proud of me. I gotta go to work. I'm not proud of me for that. I'd be so much prouder of me if I suddenly stopped needing to go to work. But not really, because, like, I don't play the lottery. I'm not good at math, but I can do a little arithmetic, so I don't believe in it. But because I don't, like, it's highly unlikely that I'll ever win, so I'll probably have to keep working. The aircraft carriers, yes. Or the big old battleships with the massive, massive range. Dude, or the units in the sea in the second one were so funny. You're like, here is my attack dolphin. Your submarine will be helpless against its relentless echolocation and pecking. Oh, yeah. There was a lot of really good ideas. The Zeppelins were great. I remember that my friends and I... This is before I got into, like, watching StarCraft by many years, because we didn't play StarCraft then. Like, we were like... Command and Conquer is cooler than StarCraft because it doesn't limit your army size. Which, like, as an adult, I'm like, man, what a dumb take. I must have been a child. And, you know, I was. It turns out I was. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense then. It's like, punk rock's harder to play than the other ones because they don't even use power chords in jazz, you know. Whatever dumb thing you can think of. I probably believed it at some point. Yeah, I still, like, I've never, like, really played StarCraft, but I do watch it to this day. I watch competitive. Because, like, there's, like, an elegance and a beauty to it with the way the game is designed and the way that the triangle of the races interact and, like, you know, and the community is constantly making new maps to, you know, showcase more interesting gameplay styles and stuff like that, but you know, you couldn't have a competitive Command and Conquer Red Alert community for 20 years because the game's not mechanically, rewarding enough to do that. Of course, StarCraft had a league. Maybe still does. I loved Warcraft 3 though, because maybe you were trying to say, I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but to me, fantasy stuff is in general cooler than sci-fi stuff. Like, a guy riding into battle on the back of an elephant is just better than a guy riding into battle on a tank. It's so much better. It's like a guy riding a horse and shooting a bow is better than a guy riding a motorcycle and shooting guns off of it. That's just true, right? It just is. And I know that it's not like a fact, but it feels like one when I say it. It feels like I shouldn't even have to explain that riding an elephant is better than riding a tank. But some people really like the tank stuff, It's a big wide world. A million ways to be wrong about how much cooler elephants are than tanks. Look, I've played games with elephants, and I've played games with tanks, and let me tell you, getting a war elephant in Age of Empires 2 as Persia is better than getting a tank in any game ever. No, that's not fair. You can get tanks in Warhammer. They're fantasy tanks. They run on Steam. Those are great. You say that, maybe. There might be clever applications. I know that there is at least a contingent in their military high up in the Himalayas that doesn't use guns, because for de-escalation purposes, they've agreed not to use firearms, so they have like straight up melee weapons up high in the mountains on the border with a neighboring semi-belligerent nation. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, you guys won the snowball fight, you can have the ridge, but tomorrow we're going to be back, and we're going to bring a trebuchet. And they're like, a trebuchet? Oh, now it's getting serious. They're like, look, a trebuchet is melee adjacent. We had to wind it by hand. We didn't use a mechanically operated one. Alright. There we go. The cows have come home. The Start Tactics Advance. Let me tell you, that is the most unnecessary tutorial of all time. It is the most... Alright. Frame stories are dumb. Most of the time. And I'll tell you why. What part of that game would not be improved by just starting as a person who lived in that world and who didn't get bonked on the head? What utility does a bonk on the head story tell if you're not bringing any of your actual knowledge with you? A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain bonks him on the head and then sends him into the past where he can change things based on his knowledge. Assassin's Creed is a garbage frame, right? It doesn't help. Final Fantasy Tactics, snowball fight, bonk on the head, magic book, it doesn't make sense. You don't need it. It doesn't help. I've been wanting to complain about this for years. I've complained about it for years. Anyway, I like Tactics Advance. I think it's a fun game. It would be better in every way if the beginning were cut. Jump one kid with all your characters. That's a funny dialogue. I think at some point my friend told me to do it. Because I didn't own it. I had it on emulator and I played it a lot there. But anyway, I've got to go. The time grows short. I've got to take the dog out and, get ready for my day. Glad to see you here. Our Arcade 007 was a wonderful time. And glad you got to be here for the triumph of Medea the Sorceress over the Lord of Destruction. And we probably won't play her again. That's the way it goes. Which honestly feels a lot more healthy than the way that we do play Diablo, which is playing till you beat the game and then playing forever afterward. It's especially on hardcore, it's such a satisfying capstone, like, we did it. this is a hardcore character that's alive that beat it, you know. Like, do I really want to run 500 Mephisto runs to see if I get something good? I mean, I do, but I don't want to. I just want to because my reward system in my useless human brain knows that it's fun. But anyway, that's all I've got for you right now. I'll be back later on today, maybe in a few hours, more likely in like 10. But maybe I will see you there. Not sure what we'll be playing. I'll figure it out. And you'll know whenever I know. See you, man.